you very much for coming and joining. And we are extremely happy that you are here with us this evening to participate in this panel discussion. So some 7 LCIPs have come forward. One is yet to join to participate in this panel discussion. We have here our past international director, Narendra Bhandariji, who is the brain behind this, who has been giving us all these ideas and we're only implementing them. And he has done a lot of work, at least starting some 2 to 3 months ahead on this project. And he has involved the district governors and GAT leaders and GST leaders, district chairpersons for hunger relief, and quite a lot of others. And he has designed a program, designed slides, designed support materials, flyers, posters, quite a lot of things. He has involved quite a lot of people and saw that everything was ready when the week began on January 3rd. So we are through the week now, and today I think we are on January 10th, and tomorrow the week is going to close. And we thought, why should not we have a panel discussion with some big brains of our area, with some knowledgeable lions. Of course, they are not experts on hunger-related matters, but everybody has done some research and has made it possible to participate in this panel discussion. I invite PID Narendra Bhandariji to just to tell us what is the background to this program and how we have arrived here and what exactly is his expectation from this and what are his further objectives from this program. Over to PID Narendra Bhandariji.
Sure. Thank you, nagaRAJU. I'll not go into the formalities because we have limited time. Let me first congratulate and thank each and every LCIP who has volunteered to involve himself into the this program of hunger. Initially, we had planned that we will make some presentation on the topic hunger. On each day for about 6 days, 12 topics that what we did for mental health and well-being. However, maybe people have been busy with various conferences and here and there. So ultimately, when we discussed with nagaRAJU, we came to a conclusion that let us have a panel discussion on the topics that we were going to take up. Now let's go next. Basically, all these programs that we organize, online programs, they are basically intended for the governors, the club presidents, and district chairperson hunger and GSC and all that. But what we have been seeing of late, after mental health, there was a good response. But after that, few programs we saw that the attendance is not as expected. And when our LCIPs, I would say the ambassadors of many programs of Lanism. Let me first again, I would say, coin a word for the all LCIPs. You all are the ambassadors of the various programs of LCI. That is what I consider, and that is what was intended for the LCIP. And we are exactly doing that. Coming back, now when I say hunger, what comes into your mind? Can you just put one word into chat? When we speak hunger, what comes to our mind?
People sleeping on an empty stomach.
Craving is an answer. And feeding people in need is yet another answer. Humanity service is one more answer.
Good. Let's, food. See, whenever we speak of hunger, only picture that comes into our mind is somebody is feeding somebody who is in need. A poor person is given food, and hunger is just limited to that. What we see in Lionism that we have been serving food to the needy for several years, but still the hunger is not eliminated. I want to say that Lionism expects hunger beyond serving meal. And that is what we want to make aware in the Lionism field in this service week. Now, when we say week, hunger, now let's go beyond serving meal, maybe healthy food, dignified food, or rather the slogan that I've coined this year, at least for India, what I say is hunger-free India. Now, if we target that way, similarly, each club can target or each district can target hunger-free district so and so. And if we have that slogan coined and if we plan a program to make that reality, I'm sure that we can be able to achieve something great. Then next is hunger week. Why week? No, week has a lot of advantages. It makes a habit for a person to continue that activity. Now, if you have fed somebody for a day, or if you have given a meal to an orphanage for a day, it becomes an activity for a day. But if those activities related to hunger continue for a week, it becomes a habit of the club. Not only it becomes a habit of a club, it creates a different impact. It creates more visibility in the community, and that is why it is important that we have a week. Now, when we say service week, it becomes a challenge for the club. What do we do for one full week? Feeding a meal and that is all going on, but for a full week, what do we do? So what we do at the national level, we give them various ideas that under hunger service week, what are the types of activities that you can do, and for doing those activities, how you have to plan, how you have to budget, how you have to promote, how you have to partner. So all those guidelines are given by LCI and of course at LCOI that we have taken care. We have the weeks of service. I have been requested to be the coordinator of weeks of service, and nagaRAJU and one Pinkesh Patoria and Abhay Shastri, they are helping me in doing this particular promotion or making awareness and guiding the Lions clubs uh, uh, in our country. So the best advantage of the week is it becomes a habit to a club. Now, in hunger, I will not go more into details. We have experts sitting here. How different activities can be done in hunger. Hunger is also nutrition. Hunger is also saving the wastage of food and how they can be served to people. Also, having organic healthy food grown up, that means we can also target under hunger the farmer, and we can educate them to grow more crops. Not only that, when the crops is harvested, there is a lot of wastage. Not only wastage during harvesting, even the crops when transported, there is a lot of wastage. So there is almost 67% wastage of food before it reaches anybody's mouth. So you can imagine if we plan various activities, even saving food is also something which falls under hunger. Having said that, let me not go more into the more deep into the subject. Only thing is, for India, we have given a target of 10 million meals in 1 week. It comes to 1,000 meals served per club. It's a very small figure, and if you have to serve 1,000 meals in a week, the budget is only 20,000. Now, if a club cannot raise 20,000 rupees and serve 1,000 people in a week, then why are we existing? If we are existing and if there is hunger, it's a question that we need to ask ourselves, are we really serving? So these are some of the thoughts that I wanted to bring to the notice of all the people. All of you are aware that 783 million go without food every night, and 1 in 9 is the ratio. Also, every 10 seconds, a child loses his life because of hunger. Now, there are so many statistics, so many figures. I am sure we need to address this challenge properly. We have been doing work in hunger, but the scope is very vast. Not only scope is very vast, it is very easily doable activities. It is very easily doable activities Even a single lion, if he starts working, he has a scope to work for hunger. You need not have a club of 100 people. You need not have a budget of 100,000 rupees. Even with a small figure, a single person can start serving the community. Apart from that, lastly, it is very easy to approach community to support your activity because hunger is considered very divine in any faith, whether it is Hinduism, Sikhism, or whether it is Islam, any religion. Everybody believes that feeding or working in hunger is a very noble, pious cause which gives you a lot of, if anybody believes in religion, serving a meal to somebody, how much advantage you get. And when you approach the community with that attitude, I'm sure each and everyone will support you. With this, all the participants here, 55 participants here, we will be discussing on various aspects of hunger. But it doesn't end here. Today's panel discussion is not going to end here. I would appeal to each and every participant today that though one day for the hunger week is remaining, tomorrow itself you can start motivating at least 10 clubs, 20 clubs, each of you, so that they take up some activity in hunger. It doesn't end on 11th January 2026. It is just a beginning. Service Week of Hunger is just the beginning. I'm sure it will tomorrow become our attitude. Tomorrow it will become our habit to do a project in hunger every day. And you, the ambassadors of each and every initiative of Lionism, I thank you everyone for contributing, for promoting Lionism in our in the world, and at the same time, I appeal to you to work for hunger. With this, nagaRAJU, thank you very much. I will be there in the meeting, but as I told you, I'm traveling. I will pack up my laptop, I'll switch on my mobile, and will be listening to the educative people who are talking here. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. You have touched almost every subject that we are going to discuss. And your insights into the topic are, very, very deep and profound. We appreciate your knowledge, your commitment, and your huge contribution to this concept of hunger relief all across India, maybe ISAME area, and perhaps globally. And the Global Service Week has been designed in a very, very well thought over manner. And this hunger relief is a global problem, as we all know. As we move forward, I think
nagaRAJU, one second.
Yeah.
The booklet that we brought out on weeks of hunger, can you please, I would request you to kindly share it on LCIP group also.
I'll do that.
So that people can use it and promote hunger relief through their presentations.
Sure. I'll do that, sir.
Thank
So
you.
immediately after this meeting is over, I'll share that in the LCIP.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again. So we are going to begin the panel discussion. Let me take a minute to introduce each one of the LCIP panelists as I see them in the order of my screen. So as I see them, please raise your hand and say hello when I take your name. We have there Lion LCIP Habib Abla. So he is one of the panelists today. He has done extensive work on this subject already, and he is the one who helped me design the virtual background also. Next on my screen, I have Lion Dr. Mudassir, Dr. Khwaja Mudassir. So he is there saluting you, and he is a medical doctor, and naturally he will bring in some useful highlights, useful insights into the program. We have Dr. Deepak Chowdhury, the work that he did on irrigation related projects has brought in a lot of difference to the agriculturists, the farmers and all that. And I'm sure he will bring in some new insights into this. Lion Srinivas Govindaraj is the next one that I see on my screen. Lion Srinivas Govindaraj is a very, very popular and very well-known trainer and very ambitious and very enthusiastic LCIP that we have, and I invite him to the panel. Next on my screen, I see PDG Dr. Earl Brito, one of the youngest LCIPs here. And then he also is a very knowledgeable and very highly dynamic kind of a lion. And I'm sure he contributes quite a lot of ideas to our discussion today. Last on my screen, I see PDG Manoj Kumar Purohit. He's a chartered accountant and he naturally has a lot of insight into the economics of hunger, food, irrigation, whatever. And also he'll bring lots of other ideas. He's a very creative kind of a person, and I'm sure he'll bring some new creative ideas to our discussion. I see Jivanta has joined the group, but he has not switched on his video. That's why I cannot spotlight him. Jivanta, if you are there, please switch on your video so that I can.
I have already.
No, but I can't see you. Maybe have you joined with two different names? Yeah, thank you. Right, good. Thank you so much. So Jivanta is from Sri Lanka. He's also an LCIP, a very eminent trainer, a professional trainer rather. But let me tell you before I begin, all of us are trainers maybe in Lions and in corporate and academic worlds, but hunger perhaps is not a basic expertise with us. But what we have done is over the last 1 week, 10 days, 15 days, we have researched the topic, we have acquired some useful information about that, and we have assigned ourselves some specific topics so that we become some kind of experts in our areas, and we are here to discuss these ideas with you. Let me begin by asking LCIP Srinivas Govindaraj. Srinivas, we have lots of food drives happening all around India, particularly. We know a lot about India. Maybe the same is perhaps happening everywhere in the world. And quite a lot of food drives are happening every day. But sometimes we get inputs that there isn't enough dignity in the service that we offer. So what do you think can be done to go beyond just the food drive and add dignity to our programs?
Dear friends, what I feel is mere serving food is not sufficient. Our PhD said relieving hunger, giving food is a divine activity. It's something which is divine. It's an activity of NGOs to collect food and distribute to remove insecurity among people. Now, the dignity associated with it is to remove the social stigma that when people are seeking food, we should serve them with dignity. We should ensure that they are not hurt in any manner. So that we should also respect their cultural and their religious requirements. Like we should serve food which is acceptable to all strata of society. That is where the dignity comes. We should also ensure that the food served is of nutritional quality. It is not like just serve something for the sake of serving food and for the sake of relieving hunger, for the sake of reporting it on our portal. We should not be doing this activity. We should do it with dignity so that people respect us and they feel comfortable and they respect Lions as people who really show dignity towards them. That is my take on giving this food with dignity.
Very often we see large numbers of people gathering at hunger relief programs, and sometimes the kind of respect that they deserve is not given.
Is not given.
Srinivas said.
Yes, sir. Because they will be standing, they'll be pushed around, then say they will be, food will not be given properly, and they will be just, food will be thrown like this. And give it with dignity, because dignity is what we Lions stand for, dignity. So that is what is lacking in many areas. I will not say in many areas it is lacking. So let us do that. That is my take on this.
Thank you, Srinivas. Thank you very much. So in case we have to give dignity to the people who come to us to seek hunger relief, maybe there is one idea that helps us do it. Maybe we can partner with others. I would like Dr. Deepak Chaudhary to tell me how can Lions work with food banks, NGOs, and so many other service organizations which are working along with us or on similar lines. They also are doing the same job on a different platform or in a different way. But how can we, without duplicating what we are doing, how can we work along with them? How can we tie up with them? How can we work together, Dr. Deepak?
Yeah, thank you, nagaRAJU. Good evening to all. First of all, I would like to say that being a past district governor, I personally have traveled extensively in the rural area and studied what is hunger is, particularly in the urban and tribal belt. So, as you rightly said, that how Lions can participate or coordinate with the other NGOs, and I feel there is a tremendous potential for the Lions only because of the fact the kind of the network we are having. Just imagine 1.35 millions all over the world. Consider India. In fact, each city, each villages, there is a Lions Club branch is there. So there are a lot many NGOs like Feeding India. You must have heard about it. It is a Zomato's branch where what they are doing excellent work. Whatever the excess food is there, they are collecting from the restaurant. I am meaning excess, not the stale food. It is a fresh food, and they are in fact I had some interactions with few of their officers. They are looking for the NGO like Lions where we can coordinate with them, and cities like Mumbai, Thana, and all the small cities or the villages, we can coordinate with them, and we play an important role in distribution of the foods. Same way there is a no food waste. There is another NGO which has been uh, looking for distributing the foods. And as we all of must be knowing, the Akshay Patra Foundation, in fact, Lions worked to the great extent with the Akshay Patra. It was a good success, and I think still Lions are working on that. I personally feel with the potential and the resources of the Lions International, the kind of the networks and passionate Lions all over the world, and particularly in India, we can do wonders. In India, there is still a lot of need for the food to be distributed. There are many people who sleeps without a dinner or within one meal every day, and a lot of food is being wasted, particularly in the restaurants and other places. That could be, channelized through these NGOs. And there are NGOs, they are expertise only in the hunger or food. We have the expertise in the distribution, logistics. We have the another advantage that we have the professionals like doctors, engineers, logisticians. So this expertise, if you combine together, it will, it will work out to be a wonderful combinations, and we can, contribute a lot to reduce the hunger. And as Srinivasan said, the hunger with the dignity. See, we Lions always feel where there is a need, there is a lion. And there are so many needs in many places. In our district, I can share that one of many of the clubs, particularly the aged people who are the senior lion member, they do not get the food at their home. So they are in distributing this food to their houses also at a nominal cost, as some lion member sponsor it and they distribute to their house. Just imagine the kind of satisfactions and the joy they will be getting, that some lion members through their network delivering the food to their house when they need it the most. So I feel there is a tremendous potential, and we can do wonders joining with these various NGOs who are particularly working, like Roti Bank Foundation is there. We all of us, if Lions can join at a district level, multiple level, and they can effectively coordinate with them and help to meet these hunger needs of the many poor people who have been, literally are hungry, I would say, for the food.
Thank you very much, Dr. Deepak. Throwing light on something very useful, how we can coordinate and work in conjunction with other service organizations. You've taken also some names, Akshay Patra, Roti, Kapda, etc. But there are similar organizations in other parts of the world also. Perhaps we can work together to scale up the magnitude of our programs. But it's not just scaling up. There is another dimension to it. So despite the amount of food that we are growing, and despite the food that's available all over the world, still hunger persists. It's not the amount of food that's available, but it's the availability of food to people. Manoj Kumar Purohit, I would like you to answer this question. If there is enough food in the world, why are people still hungry?
Thank you for that quite pertinent question you have put to me, nagaRAJU. Yes, we have a lot of food, but then most of it is not reaching at the right time to the right people. I will divide this into two parts. One will be at the macro level, one will be at the micro level. At the macro level, we have lots of geopolitical issues. And these geopolitical issues create hurdles in movement of food and that food getting or the food grains getting to the required areas. For example, right now we have a big war going on, and Ukraine has been a largest producer of wheat and other products. And Ukraine was called the uh, bread basket of the world. And when such an important country has some issues, the food chain, the transportation chain, that's getting disturbed. And this is not just for one continent. Hunger is everywhere. Even in America and big cities, we see people going to sleep without food. Again, this we have experienced in our history also. In 63, 64, when we had food shortage, when we asked Americans to give us some wheat, they tried to put some very harsh conditions. And then Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, he said, okay, we are used to fasting and we will go fasting for a week, keep a meal a week. So he called all Indians to skip a meal that is on Monday evening, and so that we can be, we don't need any foreign food or with sanctions. Also, right now, we have some issues with Bangladesh, but then we have not supplied their rice supplies. We are supplying it to Afghanistan, but then again there is an issue of transporting it. Pakistan is not allowing us to send that food there, so it has to take a circuitous route. So a lot of such issues play greater role, and there are parts of world which are not ruled properly by any proper government. There are fringe elements, they are controlling the places, and then even if food is supplied to those areas, they will be looted. So a lot of such issues are there. We hope that at least United Nations and other countries and the World Food Organization together sorts these issues so that because of political reasons, no one should be hungry. The other at micro level is our usage of food grains. That's food waste. Right from the farm to our plates, do you know how much of food is wasted? It's not just 10%, it's not just 20%, it's not just 30%. It is 37% of the food is wasted. In either in transit or in preparation or at restaurants or at our parties, and that amounts to 1.3 billion tons. And today only I was reading something where it says if half of this is saved, all malnourished or undernourished population of the world can be fed twice. So if you are able to reduce half of the waste, the food is sufficient for everyone. Over to you, sir.
While you were talking, while you were making that comprehensive view of the micro and macro issues, I received one good relevant chat comment from Suryakant Sankhe. He says, hunger is a multifactorial problem. It involves farmers, engineers, government policies, medical fraternity, and quite a lot of other areas. So I'm reminded of something that also is related to hunger, climate. Climate and hunger are very closely related. So climate also causes hunger. Climate also solves the problem of hunger. I would like Jivanta Pereira to comment on this question. Why does climate matter for hunger? And how are the two connected? Jivanta, you need to unmute yourself.
Thanks, nagaRAJU. It was a quite interesting and very relevant question. Why hunger and climate matter? Yes, it's true. Just to understand, the climate change directly affect food security. It directly affect the food security. And also extreme weather conditions destroy the crops and livelihood.
Yeah.
This question is totally relevant to me actually, because just 1 month ago, my country went through a cyclone and more than 1,200 landslides, and even right now, 8,352 families living without houses. 46,226 people living in security camps because their houses are destroyed. I mean, if you get the percentage of cultivation, food cultivation damage due to this. So my concern is hunger is not just poverty. It is an environmental issue. If you just get the the World Health Program, there are numbers. Greenhouse gas itself, right? Only GHG has affected 8 to 10% of the world food production. That means carbon dioxide and the other gases that are through the human activities. I mean, these climate changes and the climate disasters happen due to two reasons. I mean, one is man-made disasters. Because of that, the climate has changed, and the natural disasters. So the floods destroy the farms and the food supply chains. Droughts reduce the crops yields, and rising temperature affect the agriculture. Natural disasters increase the food insecurity. So end of the day, I mean, people going to the bed without having a proper meal, not because they are actually in below the poverty line. It is one of the reasons, but I mean, this has been escalated due to the climate matters. So that is the reason that the hunger and the climate is having a direct relationship, which we all has to look into. I'm truly honored and happy that even the Lions are focusing hunger and also the environment, because climate matters to us. That's what I feel.
That gives me a hint about the next question I should ask you, but I'll come back to you a little later. In the meanwhile, I have received a useful comment from H.N. Singh, a very senior lion. He's suggesting a three-pronged strategy to fight hunger. He says supporting local farmers is one, food banks, creation of food banks, reducing food waste, and quite a lot of other suggestions he has given. I think all these things work towards fighting hunger at a larger level. Vijayanta talked about the global issues. But apart from the global issues, I think there are some vulnerable groups wherever, irrespective of what's happening at the political level, global level, climatic level, whatever. So there are some people who are susceptible to hunger, irrespective of all these things. For instance, the elderly people, the senior citizens. Dr. Khaja Mudassir, I would like you to answer this question because you are a medical doctor. Why are senior citizens more vulnerable than others to hunger?
Yes, thank you, nagaRAJU. If you look at the people who are going to be affected by hunger, the major people who will be affected will be the senior citizens. And even with the people, if you join them with the lower socioeconomic status, so lower socioeconomic status and senior citizens will be the maximum people who will be affected due to hunger. Now, what are the reasons for this? One is, of course, the senior people will have limited resources. Funds will be limited. Most of them might be living on limited savings. Second, more important, is a limited mobility. Some of them may not be able to walk out of the house.
Yeah.
Illnesses, and especially if they are ill, they definitely try to even neglect going to have even 1 or 2 meals a day. And increased hunger will definitely give rise to the increased number of diseases. Some of the senior citizens are usually living alone, so isolation. Again, the food availability will become less for them. Chronic illnesses which affect more of the senior citizens, I think that also will affect the effect of illness of hunger on most of the senior citizens. Some of them are not able to leave the house. All this ultimately also has an effect on their mind also. So they are affected by wellness, mental health illnesses, depression, anxiety. They may be already having these diseases because of the way they are living. And add to it the lower availability of food, lower availability of resources. It gives to depression, anxiety, and that also is exacerbated. And all this overall give rise to a very reduced quality of life, which goes on to probably increase the illnesses which they have, giving less rise. The response to the normal hunger is also reduces. So if a normal person who is hungry will make an effort to have food, while the response here because of their age becomes limited, and their response also will be there. So the one we should focus on, especially related to hunger, that we should focus more on the senior elderly people, especially those who are isolated, especially those who have less of mobility, and those who are isolated at home, maybe not in contact with even their immediate relatives also. There are many people. In fact, we were lucky that one group of NGOs which were providing meals once a day to such isolated senior citizens. Ultimately, they got together, and we were happy that in our district we have a Lions Club. They found a Lions Club which is now taking up this task. So whenever we are talking of hunger, please concentrate more on the senior citizens. Yes, over to you, nagaRAJU sir.
Thank you, Dr. Mudassir. Thank you very much. Of course, senior citizens is one section of society who are susceptible, but there are similarly women, there are children, there are all kinds of people, especially living in certain geographical areas and climatic conditions, who are prone to be more hungrier and also less nutrition, malnourished, etc. Malnourished, etc. And I mean, these are all problems that we've seen. Somebody has made a comment about the caste factor also in the chat box. Yes, caste also is a big factor that affects our initiative to serve people when they are hungry. There is another comment here which tells us that we should serve people. One second, let me locate this. There is a comment from Rana Moghra. So he says that we should organize these hunger relief activities with tables, with free meals, etc. I think this relates to our culture. Every culture has a different way of dealing with this. And in case my finances allow and my culture demands it, perhaps I'll arrange a tent and then tables and chairs, and then I'll feed them. But perhaps in most parts of India, because of the numbers of the programs that I've seen, it may not be possible to do on that scale. So I would like to check what is the role of culture, safety, and similar issues that affect our hunger relief programs. I would like Habib Ablaji to tell me how culture and safety affect our hunger relief activities.
Thank you, nagaRAJU. Culture and safety has to be checked by our clubs. But what we have to do is to try to change the approach we are doing. We have to introduce innovation versus the way we are doing currently, serving food, providing food. We have to keep two things in mind. First of all, that when we want to innovate and change the way we approach, we're not abandoning what we have been doing for the last decades. We have been good in service, good in respecting the people, and in unity and values. And the second point we have to make sure that we stick to it is that we have to see what our community and the people around us are needing and evolve our approach accordingly. I will give few examples, two or three examples that will help us innovate and provide our service in a better way. But before doing that, also, we have to make sure that we change our mindset. We have been very good at giving food. Today, we have to create a human experience. People will walk in like a restaurant. When we are providing a food for them, they have to feel there is an experience. They are enjoying it rather than one-way service, rather giving them a bag, serving them a plate. We have to, on the other hand, we have to interact. We have to give them a choice to choose the meal they want or their preference. Maybe they don't like to eat a certain food. So three things we can do as clubs. First, we have to do like when we invite people towards to our home, we sit on a table. We have to do the community tables. So we are instead of serving them, we provide a scoop of soup or provide a piece of chicken or whatever. We serve them like we serve our friends. Second, we have to have like we have in medical, we have these vans, pop-up stations that we go to them, live cooking. They feel the smell. We interact with them. And second, and finally, a third, we have to have like a buffet, the choice. They choose their food. They are not they are not forced to take the meal we are providing them. So by adopting these, we have a lot of impact on our community, and people will ask us for us to serve them more and more and more.
Generated quite a lot of ideas about hunger relief, its implications, and the complexity of the problem, the background to it, and etc. But all this needs to be told. So unless we tell people what we have done, what needs to be done, what exactly is the problem, I think it will not be a very successful program. So we need to think of an effective way of reaching people. Perhaps storytelling, for example, is a great idea. So if you know how to tell our stories, maybe we can influence and impact more people. But today, unfortunately, the media is crowded. So there are too many things getting pumped into it. So that's why I request Earl Brito to tell us how we can effectively use storytelling techniques to make our programs more effective.
Thank you, nagaRAJU. I think the difference today is not a lot more about content. It's about a deeper connection that we need to have. And this is not only about hunger, it is in fact relevant to every single one of our global causes. We see thousands of posts every day, but very few make us stop and pause. Stories still move people when they make an issue human, not abstract. Hunger, for example, is often shown as a number. We often look at it as a statistic. But the moment you show a choice, like a child giving up a meal for a younger sibling, hunger stops being a statistic there and becomes a shared human experience. The media works when it carries honesty, not really polish, which happens sometimes. A genuine moment shared with respect cuts through noise far more than the most produced content. So, storytelling still works, not because of technology, but because human empathy hasn't changed yet. We say content may catch attention, but only stories create action. So, this is what we have to think about. And think about it every time we make a presentation on social media or on our website, telling you that empathy is giving a story, and that's what we should be carrying to the people.
Thank you, Earl. A lot of inputs are happening in the chat box, and then we will have some time to receive your questions, receive your comments. Maybe another 10 minutes later, I'll allow everyone to, have your question answered by any one of the panelists. I'll come to you very quickly. I remember, Srinivas, you made a mention about dignity, respect, etc. I would like to add one more word there. So every meal that we serve should be empowering. So in case we have to make our service empowering, what small changes do you think can Lions Clubs make to make our food distribution programs more empowering?
Yes, sir. Just now, my friend Earl Brito said empathy. When we serve food, we should feel that we are hungry and we are getting food. That is the feeling we should have, empathy, and creating a welcome and inclusive atmosphere. It's a small change, creating a welcome. Feel that they are our honored guests, not that they are beneficiaries or recipients for the food that we are giving, so that they are treated with dignity and food is given properly to them. The food offered should be clean and given in clean plates. Again, that adds dignity instead of just giving it, as I already said, for the heck of it, giving it. Then there should be a proper place to dispose of the plates. Normally, what happens? People eat food and they leave the plates here and there. Plates are strewn all over, leftover food is strewn all over. So there again it becomes messy, and the dignity. A small attention to detailing will help to keep the surrounding clean, and food is offered with dignity. There should be supply of clean drinking water, because with food, water has to be given. These are all small changes which are required. Photos, I again repeat, in many forums I've said, photos should not be taken while we are giving food, because people who are receiving food should not feel bad. There is a social stigma. All of them are on social media. So it should not be shown that they are begging for food. So many people don't come, though it's a hidden hunger problem. Though they have hunger, they don't seek food because of the social stigma attached to it. So we should ensure that, again, I repeat, the empathy part of it, where we should not make them feel that we are doing a service, but we welcome them as guests, so that there is dignity and there is happiness, and we also get a satisfaction of giving them food and being a party to relieving hunger globally. Because people still say, again, Earl said, a sibling, it's more of statistics. An elder sibling sacrificing his or her food for the younger sibling. There, the statistics doesn't come there. So that is something which touches us, and we should do this properly and with dignity and proper respect to the recipient. Thank you.
Thank you, Srinivas, for that very interesting answer. And then, I mean, this is a very highly empathetic way of looking at this problem. In fact, I'm reminded of one of the recent incidents where I participated in a hunger relief program. So there was a long queue of people waiting for their turn to get food. So there was a photographer who was capturing each food face. Maybe lions typically demand that the permission from the person whom we are capturing on our camera should be sought. But in this context, what I told them is, please take a picture from there behind. Some small care like that perhaps will give them greater dignity, and it will be more respectful. Moving on from there, I would like to, I'm just going back to Dr. Deepak. Deepak, you told me about the partnerships that are possible. You took the names of some service organizations that are also engaged in hunger relief. Maybe when we go to an NGO who also is doing a similar work and offers support, there are some strengths that Lions own. So, for instance, our leadership, our the number of volunteers, that are 1.4 million members around the world, is not a small number. I think no other organization has this magnitude. And we have our own logistics, and then our managerial leadership skills, etc. So when we coordinate with these NGOs, how can we go, beyond what we do with the kind of strengths that we do?
Well said, nagaRAJU. As you mentioned it, basically, as earlier I had mentioned, that we as the Lions have an advantage or resources of the doctors, chartered accountants, then the logisticians. At the same time, I want to see the hunger in a different way. See, for each, the hunger is a different thing. Now, when you comes to the rural areas, particularly for the children, you must be knowing there are many malnourished children in the rural areas. And in fact, 2.8%, unfortunately, children die before they are born. This is the statistics of the Hunger India. And why this happens? Because their mothers, they are not getting the sufficient food. And when it comes to the hunger, not necessary that we have to give a particular food to them, but we need to see what kind of a food to be given. And here the medical doctor comes into the picture, that they need to be with protein-rich food to be given. What many programs, malnourished programs, we are implementing in the rural area of our district and in our multiple, we see that they have been given the particular type of food where they can get protein-rich diet in that. Similarly, in the Tata Research, Tata Hospital, when you go there and when you want to do the Anaj Dan or the food distribution, they say that the children who are unfortunately affected with the cancer, they need certain type of food with the dry foods, proteins, and that kind of a food they need. So each need is different. Only hunger, but any kind of food you use. So that time the Lions expertise will come into the picture because of the medical doctors and the various professionals we have with him. Here, I just want to give, see, there are many type of food or hunger. At the same time, we need to think as a lion that are we keep on going the distributing the food just for the sake of it? We should see where there is a need, there only it should be given. Otherwise, there is a, I mean, a threat that we are making them, dependent forever on the food. If you give them this ready made food for every time, it should be given to the people who really deserve, who are cannot afford. Only to this it should be given, not to each and everybody. Even if they do not need, we go and give it to them. Here, just I would like to give one example. When we lands were distributing the foods in many Adivasi or the tribal areas, they used to say that government is already giving us so many kgs per month. Why you are giving it more? So there we should not waste our, I mean, this kind of a food distribution there. One example I would like to give, Steve Jobs, who is the Apple co-founder. I mean, this is little related to the hunger. That's what I'm citing. I mean, many times the students during the early 1970s, when he was going in a very hard days, he did not have even the money to buy the burger of $1 or $2. There was a Hare Krishna temple, and they used to distribute the food every day. And he publicly admitted that because of this, I could at least for a year, I could survive on that food and I could study. And this is one of the cases I'm telling you. Similarly, there are many places where the students, the children, they need the food, and that if Lions coordinate, because the expertise of the Lions, one more advantage, I said, the manpower, the kind of the land members we have. Many NGOs who specialize in the food distribution or the hunger, they many times feel the lack of manpower. If we dedicated Lions, if they align with them for a year, month, and they have the schedule, and without, I mean, disturbing their schedule, we can coordinate with them, help them logistic wise, how these foods can be distributed, where the foods is needed more, and what kind of food is needed. I feel the financial is not only the criteria. Apart from the financial, this expertise, and I feel these Lions, with their experience, they can always coordinate with these NGOs and help them to reach to the people where really it is needed. See, I am personally against, strongly against this, that unnecessary, many places it happens that where there is no need, we have been distributing the foods. The people who can earn themselves, they are also eating the foods. In rural areas, we did experience. Now, if you see, somebody said this, I mean, this climate or the environment is also directly associated. Many farmers in the rural area, now they are independent because they can have their own crop and they can cultivate the fruit and various trees. In fact, Alliance in our district, they have donated the trees to these farmers, and it has given a wonderful result that they can get a nutritious food and other things through way of these food bearing trees. So I feel the Lions in the long term, they should see that not only giving the food of just somebody is hungry, but giving the right food to the right people. Like children, they will require different kind of food. The cancer patients or the medical patients, they will require different kind of foods. I mean, the in rural areas, the I mean, the urban areas, the needs would be different. Many old age homes where we used to have the projects, many times I have personally seen that their organizer or their operators, they used to say that we have enough of rice, now do not donate rice. So here the Lions member can play important role. They can, I mean, 10, 15, whatever the old age homes are there, what they need monthly, they need so much rice, so much wheat, they can make a list, distribute to the Lions, I mean, the NGOs who are doing this. So that will help. What exactly is needed, we are giving. Because I have seen many places, there is so many fruits arriving and then they get rotten because it is not being used. So there are 50 students or 50 old age citizens staying there. So there is no point. So you should give as per the requirement. And I think the Lion member can play a very important role in distributing, and this logistic service they can provide to this particular food chain. Like various, restaurants are there. As I mentioned, there are certain NGOs who have been willing to donate the food. There are many hotels who are saying that we don't want to get a stale food, we want to give the fresh food, but they need somebody who can distribute and reach to the people who really need it. So I think Lions can do a wonder, and each Lion member, if they take like this, it will be help where the hunger is there, we can able to eradicate them. Thank you.
Dr. Deepak, thank you very much for that quite exhaustive reply covering quite a lot of areas relating to how we can align our objectives with other NGOs and how we can make it more effective by, meeting the needs of the deserving hungry, not everybody. So I'm reminded of a tool that Lions Clubs International created, community needs analysis. This is not exactly that, but something very similar. So we should first read the need and identify the need and have an action plan to meet that. This reminds me also of the food that's wasted, which Manoj Purohitji earlier made a mention of. But I would like to know, we know at the macro level, at the micro level, what's happening, how food is wasted, what is contributing to this wastage. But what I would like you to tell us is that is there a role that Lions can play in reducing food wastage?
And nagaRAJU, I'm reminded when I was a child, I used to see some of our elders, and particularly in the Jain community. After finishing the food, they used to put some water in the thali, that's the plate, rinse it and drink it.
Yeah.
That kind of, our elders had that kind of respect for food, that not even a smallest grain of food gets wasted. But then we have come off that age, and then now a lot of people, we have working persons, and then they just order food on Zomato or somewhere, and they give us a sufficient quantity of food, and naturally entire thing is not consumed. Say maybe 50% or 60% of it is consumed, and the rest of it is just thrown away. Even in our parties, meetings, suppose if we are throwing a party, we have about 1,000 guests. We would always see that the food is available for 1,100 or 1,200 guests. So we already order a bit more. And then still, entire food will not be consumed. And if you accumulate the food that is wasted, it will be a staggering figure. We have lost the dignity of food. The culture which we had, it's not getting transported. So at the school level also, now what I suggest is we should inculcate these subjects into the school so that the child understands the dignity of food, how the food is for a single grain of food, how many months it takes for a farmer to grow. So this should be inculcated right from our childhood. We should tell them how difficult it was for our ancestors when we had Bengal famine or famine in those years when lakhs and lakhs of people died, lakhs and lakhs of children, women died. So we came from that situation, but now we are sufficient. But still, we should see that this is done. And a lot of food waste, as Deepak has said, there's a lot of need for coordination to transport the food where it is excess, and then it gets over to the persons who need. Even in households, our ancestors knew how to handle the food that is left over. They used to create, say, jams or some other things through whatever the food was saved was you consumed next year in some form or the other. They used to dry fruits or vegetables and then reconvert them into food whenever it was necessitated. So leftovers have to be used, and Lions Clubs can have something like culinary workshops or training workshops for particularly the ladies and chefs, how they can use the leftover foods. I would like to finish with one very small practical thing which I have learned. What do you call the Ambani? He is the wealthiest man. Food waste for him is nothing. And at Antilia, on an average, I'm told that they have 4,000 chapatis. It's on the day when they don't have guests. They entertain guests at their home and then prepare food, but nothing is wasted in that home. At that scale also, everything is cooked on time, served, and then nothing is wasted. And even if there is something left over, immediately it is shifted to some old age home. So when a person like Ambani, who is the wealthiest man in India and in topmost wealthiest person in our world, thinks so highly about wastage of food, why can't we do similar things. Thank you, sir.
That's a very good example to draw inspiration from. Lalji Verma has pointed out that, of course, apart from the wastage caused by humans, lions, whoever, wastage is also caused by lack of warehousing facilities, lack of, the perishability of the food, rats, pests, etc., and so many other problems also. This reminds me of the question that I asked Jivanta earlier. Jivanta talked about how climate, as an example, he took a recent disaster in Sri Lanka, and he talked about how climate is affecting hunger and related matters. Jivanta, do you think Lions clubs, as Lions and members, can we do something to resolve this problem of climate?
Why not? That is the reason, actually, nagaRAJU, the Lions International has identified global causes. If you just get the overall picture, it is quite interesting that the Lions International has aligning three, not only the hunger, environment, and humanitarian services aligns together, because we see at least one out of 10 goes to bed without a proper meal. So if you get the United Nations number, 673 million to 733 million lives without a proper meal. So, I mean, Lions has to move on actions. But my concern, as you ask, how best that the Lions can do something to prevent this climate changes affecting hunger area. So the promote tree planting and green projects, and reduce food waste and cook meals, and how best that we are going to manage, as many of our panelists said, managing the waste of cooked meals, and this especially destroy during the transport on the fresh fruits and the vegetables, and food preservation awareness and support programs. Then comes to educate the communities on sustainability, environment protection, and support hunger relief programs. Everything comes together because the climate has affected this. So very important thing now, Sri Lanka, when we went through this disasters just 1 month ago, so the government took a very strict decision in the government level. Above 5,000 feet, all the hilly areas above 5,000 feet, a reforestation project is going on by the government. I mean, the Lions also working on that project. So, why can't we work? I know that some of the clubs are working together because the environment, the climate changes affect hunger. That is the reason. So, small action create a big impact, right? Think globally, act locally. Very interesting tagline our international president AP used to tell: think globally, act locally. So, I mean, local service projects can fight hunger and climate effects. We can do small things, but it make a lot of difference to make our climate changes. I mean, not only taking actions are going against greenhouse gases, but many. I mean, we have to work together to eradicate and have a safe environment for our food security. That is very much important, nagaRAJU. Because, my dear friends, Lions work, but only thing that how best that we work strategically, support our hunger programs by the supporting environment and the challenges that we are going through with the climate changes. So that every land can make a difference by working towards that. That's what I want to very specifically mention.
Thank you very much for making those very, very valid and precious points. Every little step takes us further, and every small act of kindness is going to convert this earth into a heaven. So the little things that we do are going to make a huge difference to our lives and everybody's lives. So maybe a sapling that we plant, a meal that we serve, everything is going to have a great effect on the whole. And think globally and act locally is a wonderful slogan, and that has a lot of meaning in it. That again reminds me of what Dr. Khaja Mudassir had earlier said about vulnerable groups. So this is what Manoj Purohit ji, what Jivanta ji have said, have some direct relevance to Lions Clubs and Lions. So as Lions Clubs, when we are organizing programs, especially when we are handling those vulnerable groups, you talked about senior citizens. So what do you suggest can be done by Lions Clubs to serve the needs of the senior citizens? Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, nagaRAJU. Yes, I think Dr. Deepak Chaudhary, Dr. Jivanta have already covered very well that Lions are very well organized to take care of whether it is challenges hunger or any of the global focus areas or even otherwise. So why it is that Lions definitely work with compassion, and we can have various programs so that we can reach this vulnerable part of the society, and so that see that hunger is definitely eliminated. One thing is we can have various community sheltered solutions, we can have partnerships, all this to have a sustainable impact. Now let us have different strategies. Now one strategy can be have organization of community meals. So let's, for example, we can have a community meal in a certain local area where at least the senior citizens who are mobile and can come and have the meals. Already Dr. Deepak Chaudhary has said that various NGOs are there, who are Akshay Patra Foundation, Roti Bank, and one of the NGOs which I also mentioned. So we can collaborate with these local NGOs. They also can reach deeply into various villages and various localities where the senior citizens are isolated. Secondly, thing is that even we Lions can also visit depending on the time available with us. These are very important because this will have a personal touch to the way we are approaching the senior citizen. It will reduce their isolation also. So because of isolation, which has a definite negative impact and creates various mental blocks and mental ill health. So that also will be removed, plus availability of food. So the two in hand will have a synergistic action and will definitely reduce the effect of hunger on senior citizens. So one is organizing community meals. Second thing also, this occurs that are now people who are maybe not be able to reach where we are having the community meals. So we can organize food delivered at home. We can join hands with kitchens in various localities which are already serving food. I think we can join with them so that see that each and every senior citizen who is isolated can get food on time. We can organize various volunteers, Lions, or even we can train non-Lions as volunteers to go and deliver the food to the senior citizens. And as already mentioned, presently visits to the elders also, which will improve the connection. Another way we can support is a lot of people are already working on this, so we can assist in transporting the food. So we can make available shuttle services to deliver the food, or we can organize volunteers who will drive and take the food to the senior citizens. And especially say we can have special occasions like various festivals. So during festivals, we can definitely organize such community outreaches and take the food to the senior citizens. And especially again during natural calamities, I think some natural calamities variously affecting each area sometime or the other. We can have floods, we can have drought. So definitely during this time, more Lions can join the drive and see that the people who are vulnerable, I think during these calamities, the senior citizens are again more affected. So definitely we can join. And social engagement activities. So we can have social events, we can have games, we can have workshops, etc. We also one point I forgot is that we can give advice on good nutrition to senior citizens, so that the various, if we can, Dr. Deepak Chaudhary was saying that we should give the correct food to the correct people. So like if we give the proper neutral education, we may not go with the food, but even the education which will help them to get what food which is required, especially in related to their wellness illness. Suppose they have chronic illnesses, they may be having cancer, they may be having diabetes, and along with that we can train and motivate volunteers. Fundraising also for maintenance of various NGOs and other people who are already doing that, we can do fundraising. So again, we have, I think, a hunger grant which we can take up, and various districts can take up the hunger grant and join the NGOs and see that we can reach the vulnerable people in this thing. Of course, there are certain success stories in that. Like we have one club which is doing every week, they are doing the Mahaprasad. May not be for only city but everywhere else. Then we have food for hunger projects, Anadan projects. I think definitely Lions have taken up the challenge to remove hunger as a major factor for suffering. And I'm looking forward to a day where Lions will definitely see that not a single person will sleep on an empty stomach, and especially the senior citizens. Thank you, and
Thank
Nagaraj.
you, Dr. Mudassi. That's a very convincing argument why we need to reach these vulnerable sections, especially the senior citizens. So there is a great need there. They are very often dependent on others' support. They cannot live on their own if this meal is not served to them. And to look at it from another perspective, they need very little food compared to the younger people and the other sections of society. They eat very little, and maybe the same food that we serve to a younger generation perhaps serves many times more people. I think that's not a very important aspect, but what I'm trying to tell you is that there is a need there, and this is one section of society that needs to be addressed. Okay, coming back to what two panelists said, both Srinivas and Habib talked about dignity, they talked about respect, they talked about culture, and quite a lot of other factors that influence our hunger relief programs. But when both of you were talking to me, I was just thinking, how can we measure dignity? Is dignity measurable? Can we evaluate it whether a program offered the right kind of dignity to the people whom they served or not? These are all factors I think that are a little subjective, and that's why I would like to ask Dr. Habib to tell us: can dignity be treated as a measure of our success?
Raju. The answer is yes. Dignity should be absolutely be considered as a performance indicator, even if it is qualitative, not quantitative. Although we cannot measure it in numbers alone, we can measure signals of dignity. For example, how much waiting time, orderly flow, privacy, was it respected or not? Consent for photo, as you said earlier during the panel discussions. Also, a second thing we have to look at is the quality of our service, how we can measure it. We can collect short feedback from beneficiary, the people who are being served. Also, we can collect the same from the volunteers who are serving to ask them, did people feel respected? Do they feel that they did a good job in that aspect? Or did a volunteer feel proud of the service they provided? Or they were doing something recurrent and by habit? So dignity should be measured intentionally in our organization, and it should be part of our accountability. So, for example, the only KPI now, our two KPIs we have for measuring our impact in terms of hunger is the number of meal and number of people that are being served. Why not to add how many smiles we put on the faces of the people? Why not to put how many conversation we had, interaction we had with the people, each member did? Or finally, are they asking for this service again or not? Or they said, no more for this club. I had enough from this meal. It's repetitive and I'm not enjoying it as a recipient of service. So we have to think that way in order to build our service again. And for sure, yes, we have to ask the international and put our efforts all together to incorporate dignity as a factor in our service, because this is it's the proper way to maintain our service in the community as an organization. And finally, one more quote, you know it all, that people will forget what we serve them, but they will not never forget the way we make them feel. So we have to serve. Yes, we have to serve us with heart, innovation, and dignity.
Given us quite a lot of insights into this problem of hunger and the wonderful work that Lions have already been doing, and the huge potential that we have either independently or along with other NGOs, how to stop wastage of food, how to serve more people, how to serve various vulnerable sections. And Dr. Mudassir earlier also made a mention of the LCIF grant that's available for hunger relief related programs. In our own district, we have a program called Meals on Wheels, a very, very massive program. So, considering all these, coming back to Brito, I mean, you earlier mentioned that the storytelling plays a very, very significant role. I would like to ask you, is there any responsible way to use the media that clients have to keep in mind?
Yes, a very important question as well, because very often we tend to cross that very narrow path between what you want shown and what needs to be shown. So, the simplest principle I have is this: never tell a story about someone, tell it with them, because then you are involving them and it doesn't become a story where they are going to be held as being below poverty lines or whatever else that you would like to impact it on. Responsible storytelling begins with dignity. We've spoken about it in the entire process today. Dignity is something very important, especially in hunger relief. And consent, context, and hope must always come before visibility. Often we are more interested in what is the most visible effect we have. Today, with the way social media is, we want to have the maximum visibility, but we need to think of the context with the people that we are serving. I often suggest a very, very simple framework. Start with the human side. Share the emotion that you see with the people and show the action that you are doing to serve them, and end it all with a form of gratitude that you put forward. When people feel respected in your storytelling, the audiences that you are referring to respond with trust, and trust leads to action. We do not showcase poverty, we showcase humanity, and that is what should be the takeaway that we take from this.
Thank you, Brito. Thank you very much. You have given a lot of useful insights into this. Though we have already crossed the time that we thought we'd be able to finish this, I would like to, with your permission, I'd like to extend this program by another 15 minutes so that we can hear some of our participants. So quite a lot of them, though the number is small, we have only had some 50, 60 participants here, but out of them, quite a lot of them have been writing very, very relevant comments in the chat box. So some 2 or 3 of them also have risen hands. In case anybody would like to ask a question or make a comment, this is the time. So please make your question as brief as possible. Please raise your virtual hand and I'll unmute you. You can ask your question. In the meanwhile, while people are getting ready with their questions, I just would like to ask every one of you, the panelists, in case you have to tell us in 20, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, very briefly, one very, very useful tip that you would like to give to Lions and Lions clubs. What would it be to make our hunger relief activities much more effective? But I'll come back to you a little later. There is a hand risen here. Hiyam Abli, I have unmuted you. You can ask your question, please. Hiyam Halabi. You can unmute yourself, please.
Unmute. Okay. Sorry. Thank you very much for this this synergy while discussing the hunger problem in our community. I think we in the I have one comment. I mean, I doubt that we can collaborate with the NGOs as Lions. We as Lion, you understand, we have to collaborate with maybe with the firm who can give us food or give us the first material like rice, like pasta, like stuff like that. But NGO, we cannot collaborate with them because we are considered. I think I might be wrong, but we are considered as NGO here in Lebanon. I think so. So I prefer to collaborate with my connection with people who can give us, donate us in order to help us to donate to other people, you know, to needy people. And I think we have this charity center in Beirut, which is serving in a nice way. Like I do agree with Habib Abla. What he was saying, the dignity, and with some joy, we bring the music, we stuff like that. You know, this is what I like as idea for what you are accomplishing in District 351. And also the awareness. I mean, I love the way we did in the old time, giving breakfast to poor students in the official schools. This was very nice. We went to the schools and we give them breakfast. You understand? So it was very joyful, and it was with dignity. And okay, I do agree with all what Habib said, and with many of you, but I wanted to do this comment, and thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for both the suggestions. We've taken them well. And I request Paula, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself. Paula Khalaf. Yeah,
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I just would like to ask you, why do we keep providing food and instead of investing in long-term solutions by purchasing land in regions affected by hunger and enable people to farm it themselves? They can grow, harvest, and feed their children with dignity. This approach is more sustainable, cost-effective, and empowering. It reduces ongoing expenses, removes long-term dependency, and allows communities to survive, grow, and thrive on their own. Why don't we work on this side?
Yeah, Paula, we are already working on it. Some mention has been made. Would anybody like to answer that question very quickly? Yeah,
Yes.
Deepakji.
Yeah, well, it's a very good question. I would say that it's rightly said. Don't give them a fish, teach them how to do the fishing. I mean, basically, teach them how to earn from themselves. That is what I have mentioned it also. And basically, we should teach, we should not keep on donating the food, but we should teach these people how to earn themselves for this. So over the years, we should have the goal that make them self-sufficient instead of depending on every time for the charity from us. And I think that is a very good thing which Lions can do. And to some extent we did, as I mentioned, during the rural areas where the farmers, we made them self-sufficient. So this, they do not need to have this anaj dan or the any donations to be given. So I think in the long term this will definitely work, but particularly still there is a need for this hunger in many areas. So in short term, we have to work on that, but the long-term goal should be there, that we should make them self-sufficient. Thank you.
Paula, to answer your question further, it's not only just poverty that we are fighting, it's quite a lot of other factors that contribute to hunger. We talked about climate, we talked about misuse, we talked about wastage, we talked about many unequitable distribution of food. Despite the food available, we talked about that. That's why. So it's a very serious issue. It cannot easily be resolved. I don't think there is going to be a day when there will be no hunger at all. We don't think we can completely conquer hunger forever and everywhere. Anyway, Murli Manohar, do you have a question very quickly?
Good evening to all of you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate nagaRAJU sir for bringing a very good subject.
Question, please. Do you have a question, please?
Yeah. Almost all the states are supplying rice to every ration order.
Good.
And I think hunger should be looked into different aggression. Because time is short, I will tell you that wherever the malnutrition is there, undernourished people, children are there. There we should focus more. That should be the yardstick.
Okay.
Many people turning because hunger, say even women folks going to prostitution, or people turning to robbery and all these things, and people are dying because of malnutrition. That should be focused. Then only we can relieve the hunger in real terms. Thank you.
This also was addressed earlier because we talked about finding out the needs of the community. So community needs analysis is something that needs to go before we do the activities. And in case there is hunger somewhere, in case people are dying, in case something very serious disasters is happening, we need to address it as Lions, and whatever little we can do, either independently or in support with others, support from government, support from LCIF, other support from other NGOs, whatever best can be done. We have been doing it, we'll continue doing it. For those who are not Lions here, Lions Clubs International has identified hunger as one of its global focus areas. So in 200 and more countries, we have accepted this as a challenge and we are working on this. I think I'll go back to the panelists. Every one of you can, one after another, tell me in just 15 seconds of one practicable, effective tip that you would like to give to clubs and lions and people in general. Yeah, anybody can start.
Can I?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
उतना ही लो थाली में जितना ना जाए नाली में.
Yeah, take as
Start
much
from
as you can eat
ourselves.
and eat everything that you take. Yeah, next please.
nagaRAJU, can I go ahead?
Yeah, please.
My advice would be very simple. Stop reporting service and start revealing the impact that we have. People don't connect to minutes of meetings or numbers. They connect to moments. When leaders share why service mattered to someone, not just what was done, they invite others into the journey. That also helps us in our mission 1.5. And leadership today is not only about doing good, it's about making goodness visible so more people join us. Tell fewer reports and more real stories. Thank you.
Well, nagaRAJU, I would
You
just
have
like
50
to
seconds.
say,
Yeah.
shall I go ahead?
Yeah, please.
Okay. The way International has made the hunger as a focus, let each club have the focus as their service area. And as PID has said, that let's take a oath that at least 1,000 lions per week, each club will serve on the long run. And I would say when you serve 1,000, it should be the needy people or the community members who really needs, and that their hunger should be met. Thank you.
Dr. Habib, do you have 15 seconds? Yeah.
Yes, we have to think of our service not as a service activity. We have to think that we are inviting people to our home. Every service we are doing is like inviting our friends. So we act accordingly, respect them, and give them the choice of the food they like to eat.
Thank you. Dr. Mudassir, do you have a 15-second tip?
At the risk of repetition, I would like to say that we should reach where it is required and let it be a real service to the needy rather than just a Photoshop or a photo op.
Dr. Jivanta, we missed you for some time, or you are there again, it seems. Can you, I don't know if you can unmute, I'll try. I'll unmute you. Do you like to give a 15-second tip to all the people here?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. The simple message is look after our environment, and environment will look after all of us. And it will save all of us on climate challenges. So look after our environment. It is one of our primary responsibilities. Thank
Save
you.
nature, nature saves you. Srinivas?
Sir, there is a Sanskrit saying, among all the dhanams, Annadanam is the most pradhanam. That is the only area where a man or a woman will say, enough, I don't need any more. So that gives the satisfaction to lions to see that make people happy. And there was again a thing that teach a person to fish rather than giving him fish every day. But what do you do with the old age senior citizens who are in need of them? They cannot go and work now and earn money. So it is a balanced way we should address this issue. So that is the most pradhanam. Relieving hunger is the most noble service we can do. Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. I think this has been really wonderful. All the panelists deserve to be thanked for the contributions they have made, the inputs they have given, the points they have made, the support and the suggestions that we made to everybody. I'm sure hunger relief will be taken up on a much larger scale with a much larger perspective and our broadened horizons. And whatever we can do, we will continue doing. And one day we will certainly try to fight as much of hunger in the world as possible. There will not be anybody hungry for, a natural reason. Of course, other reasons can still cause hunger. Okay, I think, is there a hand present here?
Yeah, nagaRAJU, on behalf of the panelists, if you allow, I will say one word only.
One second. Hiyam has a question.
Yeah.
Hiyam Halabi, do you have a question?
Yes, sorry. I wanted to add something because the hunger session it ends on the 11th of January. So why don't we continue? Why it's this limitation?
The week closes.
We have to continue, and because some clubs, they are asking if it is within the excellence or not with the excellence club. I don't care really. I care about planning a good event. It was hunger, it was environmental, it was medical, and also about the possibility of my team, my club. You understand what I mean? So if I do that late than 11 January, it's gonna be counted also. I mean, if it is about counting a service.
Thank you. Actually, I don't know if you're there at the beginning of the program. Narendra Bhandari ji has already said 11th January, the program does not end. It actually begins on a much larger scale. So he made the mention of that. Deepak ji, do you want to say something?
Yeah, just one line, just a word of appreciation and thanks to PID Bhandari ji and to you for all this initiative and efforts. And I think this has already sparked in each Lion member to continue this hunger as a focus project in the years to come. Thank you.
Narendra Bhandari ji is still here. I will check if he can unmute himself. Sir, Narendra sir, are you there?
Yes, is there.
Sir, you can unmute yourself now.
Yeah. nagaRAJU, to end up, I can tell you one thing. There has been so much insight on the project of hunger. We should prepare a white paper. Hello.
Yeah, yes.
And suggest to LCI the various ways we can approach this initiative, number one. Right?
Yeah, sure, sir.
And number two, I think we also can prepare a guideline to all the clubs in maybe ISAME as to the way we should be doing the activities.
Hear you.
We can go through all the recording that has been, all the inputs that all our panelists have given. They are really a new dimension to the project of hunger.
Yeah.
Our clubs have been doing typical activities of hunger is giving meals. But there are various ways that has been shown to us. And I think through LCI, I wish to prepare a white paper and give it to LCI. Even for hunger grant, we have a lot of ideas that have been shared by our panelists. Lastly, I would like to thank all the panelists for the hard work that they have done, for the research that they have done, and the practical tips that they have given. I really appreciate everybody's effort, and of course, nagaRAJU, your efforts have paid dividend. This will be a new initiative. These type of programs give us the insight of the on-field work. I will feel what is needed that has come out, and we will prepare a white paper and send it to our LCI and also share with the Lions also. Thank you very much. Thank you for allowing me to join the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Despite travel commitments and despite being at the railway station now, you have still managed to talk to us. Thank you for your guidance and support. I thank all the panelists for giving their time and also their very precious suggestions, ideas, experiences, and views on this very important global problem. I request all the participants to stay back in case you would like to say anything to anybody. I am allowing you to unmute yourselves. The main program is over, but I'll keep this window open for another 10-15 minutes so that anybody who has not asked a question or did not get time to ask a question, could not put ideas in the chat box, can unmute yourself and you can speak now. I'll be here for another 10 minutes.
Yes, wonderful session. All my co-panelists, I really appreciate all your inputs and a lot to learn from it. And definitely, we should see that how practically it could be implemented in our day-to-day service activities.
We have seen quite a lot of new faces today, quite a lot of people, especially from Jordan, Lebanon,
yes,
and a few other countries participating. I'm so happy that the participation is big from there.
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Great. I think the take home for everyone should be to do whatever little we can do in our own community. Think globally, act locally. Whatever we can do as individuals, as organizations, as small groups of people. If we can serve one meal also, it goes a long way in fighting global hunger. So whatever little is possible, let's do. And long-term activities, of course, are there. So plant a sapling that actually indirectly leads to maybe serving hunger relief at maybe a decade later, a fruit plant or whatever that we plant today. So I think it's going to indirectly contribute to hunger relief only. The awareness programs, very easy. I think quite a lot of awareness programs can be done. You can become a nutrition expert, or you can earn a little knowledge about nutrition, how a meal makes a difference. We can go to schools and colleges, we can address students and address youth, and we can tell people what is good for the food, what is good for the body, and what's not good, what can be eaten, how much can be eaten, when should be eaten. These are little tips that we can give to, especially young people. These days, young people do not know much about nutrition. There's so much of binge eating, and then I think obesity is going to be a very serious problem in near future.
nagaRAJU, I would like to tell about Lions Club Bhagyanagar. Just 2 or 3 days back, they went to restaurants, put up stickers, talked to the persons who were available there, to the management, and to the persons who are attended about food waste and how it should be handled. So each club can carry on such activities.
You can have your own creative ideas added to this, and then some small, I think very often, small acts of kindness make a huge difference. Every drop contributes to the ocean. Small awareness programs are the easiest, zero cost.
Regarding this dignity, what Srinivas said, that the photograph should not be taken with the beneficiaries. So just one suggestions and few of the things. So just imagine having the food with the beneficiaries. So they will give more respect to them. Yeah. What they eat, we are also eating along with them. So that will also give a better this one for them to feel, and they will feel little, with the dignity we are serving the food. So this is one of the.
You can actually feed a patient, take a picture, but take permission. Even in that case, take permission from the patient that photograph is going to be published. This is going to the social media. So if you don't mind,
nagaRAJU, when you ask them, when you are giving something to them, they would probably will not say no. Out of the,
not always. I think in India, perhaps we don't care much, but in some countries, they take serious offense to that.
Correct, yes.
These days, you might have noticed even in Lions training programs, they are asking us to put a signature telling them that we don't have any objection for our photograph to be published. In a training program where nothing called dignity is involved, but still people are asking us to give us a signature saying that we don't have any objection if our photograph is published. So you can imagine. I think that dignity and respectability and other things that some of you talked about are very, very relevant actually. For instance, if I am standing in the queue, do you like my photograph to be published somewhere? I don't think.
See, what my take was, they are hungry and they are seeking food. By taking photographs and publishing, you are adding insult to injury. That is my take on this particular subject. It is better we avoid photographs, feed them and make them feel comfortable. Treat them as our guests.
In fact, actually, Srinivas, I saw a real incident in a wedding. So food was being served and somebody was taking a video camera. So people objected to it. No, we don't want to be seen in the video when we are eating. So yes, some people have reservations about that.
I have heard on criticism often that say, whether they call it on our organization or some other organization, 10 people go to a hospital to give one banana to a patient and take photographs. No, so that creates very big negative impact.
Yes, yes.
Clubs do that. They distribute some chocolates and biscuits and take photographs and put it as a major service activity. I think we should come out of all that. And like what Earl, are you still there? He said, instead of reporting, do what we need to do. Action is more important than reporting.
One more suggestion, sir. In fact, these many LEOs in our district or many district, they can identify there are many senior citizens who cannot go out or they cannot cook themselves. So this kind of a tiffin service can be provided at their house. I mean, it has been already done in our district.
Coastal districts, many villages have that scheme. So what they do is every home has 2 sets of stainless steel tiffin boxes.
Yes.
So somebody fills the tiffin box with food and then goes to the old man's house and gives this and picks up the yesterday's tiffin carrier and brings it back and cleans it for the next day to be. I saw some villages where this is done 365 days a year.
Oh, great. That is a really good thing.
In 316B, I've seen 4 or 5 villages.
Okay, sir, a good session. Thanks for all the effort you are putting. We should compliment, like Deepak has already done it. Like nagaRAJU should be really complimented for the selfless service he's doing for taking this forward.
I'm here because all of you are there.
That mental health week was also excellent.
Agree.
Also good.
Is enriching not only the LCIPs but all the lions all over the.
So only we wish there are more participants, but unfortunately, being a Saturday evening, I think people have other programs lined up. So
special thanks to Habib for inviting and ensuring the presence of quite a lot of people from his area.
Yes.
Habib.
This is
of
part of us. We enjoy. I enjoy and people enjoy.
So every meeting we should invite Habib so that more.
No. We do. We will promote it. We share information, and the part of my joy is to share information with people, not keep it to myself.
Your friends have not only just joined, but many of them have contributed good ideas.
Yes, very actively participated also.
Yeah, thank you.
Habib is our special mentor here in Lebanon.
Thank you, Paula, for saying that. He is a special man for us also.
Thank you,
He is really a special
Paula, shall I share something with you? My background that you see here, this was created by Habib.
Oh, see, so I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So he's a very special person for us.
nagaRAJU, by the way, fruits look so real that you are really hungry now to have it now.
By the way, the idea of Paula that she raised is very important. One of our local partner in service, they are like charity that help children. They are investing in lands, agriculture, then production, and the whole process, so they can own it, minimize the cost, and serve more people.
Oh, great. Very good initiative.
So this, we can think, the question is very, I wanted to intervene, but the question of Paula is great if we think that way in Lions. If we can own the process, we can serve more people by minimizing costs rather than buying and partnering with people.
Special thanks.